I don't know if someone's recording your end. We're actually also recording our end.
That's fine. I've started recording at my end as well. That's okay.
Okay.
We're ready to go. Yes.
It was asking us permission to allow you to record via the system.
Yeah.
So
that's what. Is that coming through okay for you?
Can everyone see that?
Yes, that's perfect.
Brilliant.
Okay.
Okay.
And if I stop share, it comes back to us. Fantastic. Right. Okay. Ready when you are.
Right. Thank you so much for joining us. Mentors, I hope you're ready now and we can get started. Thank you.
Okay. I think so.
Okay,
yeah.
great. Hello.
Let's make a start. Hello.
Hello, everyone. That was how are you? How are you? As your first sign. How are you? Hello. So my name's Richard, and this is my wife Stephanie. We run Sign Together UK in Oxfordshire. So really, thank you so much for being with us. What are we doing? What are we covering today?
Well, today is British Sign Language Week. So we're going to talk to you today and tomorrow about lots of different aspects of how you can be more inclusive to people with hearing problems, and a little bit of BSL for you to take away with you. But firstly, let's have a little bit of a chat about us, and particularly Richard, who's here as a deaf person who can tell us a little bit about the deaf experience. So Richard, what's your story?
Right, so my story. First of all, I've lost about a third of my hearing overall. Okay, what does that mean? Well, it's a bit complex actually. So I wear 2 hearing aids. All right. Now I struggle with clarity rather than hearing or not hearing a sound. All right. So that means I find it quite difficult to understand every word for word. Okay. So without my hearing aids, I can again hear most sounds, but it sounds very muffled. So I describe it to people like, imagine that you're in a bath and you wash your hair and you tip your head back and your ears are in the water. That's kind of how it feels, how it sounds anyway. All right. Excuse me. So when I was about 7 years old, I was struggling a lot at school. I was behind in class, and my one particular teacher noticed and thought, I'm not quite sure this is just him not giving attention in the class. So I was given a hearing test by my school nurse and discovered then that that's where the hearing loss come from. It was discovered that I was probably had it since birth. All right. Now, interesting, I was actually born like that, which is where the hearing loss started. So whether coincidence or not, I do not know. But when I was about 27, I felt personally that my hearing was a lot worse, and I needed, to this day, I need subtitles to watch pretty much everything on television. I have to rely on subtitles. All right, so I went to have another hearing test, and they said to me, yes, you've lost hearing in your right ear as well, and now you've lost a third of your hearing in both ears. You're going to need hearing aids. Okay, so then I was quite pleased actually, because I thought, yeah, I kind of thought it was going this way. I'm glad now I've got hearing aids. Fantastic. But my clarity is very poor, very, very poor. Now, so without my hearing aids, as I said, I hear most things, but it's just very, very quiet. It feels like everybody's whispering. Okay, so I learnt BSL. I set up Sign Together UK to help others with the same problem that I've had, the same experiences I've had in life, and it's helped many people, many of my students, and especially me as well. Like, it's really made me cope with social situations quite a lot.
Perfect. Thank you, Richard. So we'll be talking to Richard later about some of his experiences, and we'll be signing along with the keywords so you can see some BSL in action. So just to begin with, and this is for you to think about, what gestures do you use in your everyday communication? So just have a think. What kind of hand signals might you give to your friends or family when you need to? So you may have thought of gestures like this one, thumbs up. Maybe this one if you want a drink. Perhaps some of your teachers use this one.
Mine did.
Mine did, yeah. Okay. And why do we gesture? So I'm going to move across to the presentation now. Here we go. Why do we use gesture? Well, we might have difficulty hearing, difficulty speaking, maybe somebody's far away, we're trying to be discreet, or we're not able to speak, for example, during an exam. So we've got this lady here that might look like some of your teachers when you're in an exam and you can't speak and you just want to check something. So all people use gesture, don't they? It's not just signers. So have a think to yourself for a minute. How would you communicate this? After class, do you want to go and get a drink and go to the library? So just on your own or with the person you're sat next to, think without words or without sound, how would you communicate this sentence? Okay, maybe that was easy, or maybe it's difficult. But what you probably used when you did that was one of these three things, or maybe all three. Gesture, you used your body language to show what you wanted. Facial expression, or you might have used some sort of hand shape, some kind of sign. And these are the basic components of any sign language, aren't they? We need to use our body because sound isn't there. We need to make up for that with our body, with what our face is telling you, and with using our hands. We might also use signs that represent a word. So we can't gesture every sign. If you think of a word like believe or stay or travel, maybe you can think of a way of showing that with your hands, but it's more difficult. So we use signs that represent a word. Believe, stay, travel, or travel. We might fingerspell, so sometimes you may need to spell out words that don't have a sign or a name, such as your own name. And you may even use the space around your body to show if something's in the past, present, or future. So how could you tell if someone is deaf? I'll give you a few seconds to think about that one.
Okay, what do we think?
Well, you may have said things like hearing aids or cochlear implant, like this lady in the picture. You may have said you might be able to speak differently, perhaps. But the truth is that 1 in 6 people in the UK are diagnosed with hearing loss. Now, I don't know about you, but I know lots of people that say to me they have hearing problems, maybe one ear isn't as good as another, and they don't go to the doctor about it. They just put up with it and do their best because they have some hearing. So we think the actual figure might be closer to 1 in 4 people. And that is a lot of people, isn't it, that could have some kind of hearing problem. So it's well worth you being aware of what you can do to be kinder to those people so that communication is easier. Okay, do you want to talk us through this bit, Richard?
Okay, yeah, what is BSL? So, BSL, British Sign Language, first of all. So, in some ways, it's quite an old language, but actually, did you know that it's only established as a language how long ago? In 2010, but now legally recognised as a real language only 2 years ago.
Yeah.
2 years. So
amazing,
it's a
really.
very young language in some ways, very old language in another. So British Sign Language is a regional language used all over the UK, but only in the UK. Quite often we get asked, is it a universal language? Is it an international language? No, it's not. It would be much easier if it was, but no, it's not. It's literally just the UK.
And quite different from region to region.
Complete, yeah. In some ways, very different. Yeah. It's used by deaf people, by non-verbal people, and others such as teachers of the deaf, deaf professionals, friends, families of signers, etc.
Okay.
Okay.
But surprisingly, BSL isn't used by all deaf people. Some deaf people might use lip reading. They might use finger spelling to spell out every word. Sign supported English, which means it's the same grammar as English, but we use signs alongside spoken English, or speech. And it might interest you to know that 9 in 10 deaf people are actually born to hearing parents. And not every deaf person goes to a deaf school or has the chance necessarily to learn BSL in the same way that we would go to school and learn our first language.
Now think about that for a second. So I think many people might take for granted the fact that they go to school and can learn their native language, their number one language. And some deaf people can't.
Yeah.
They can't use their native language.
Yeah.
There's nowhere to learn it.
Yeah. Maybe you know the actress Rose Ayling-Ellis, who recently won Strictly. There's a fantastic documentary about her called Signs for Change on the BBC, and she tells us that her mum took an evening course in BSL level 1, like the one we teach, and they came up with some signs themselves as a family and pieced together sign language, a little bit like you might do, looking on Google, looking at sign dictionaries, looking for things rather than being taught at school from a young age, like most of us are with our first language. So one of the campaigns actually with Sign Language Week this week is to get those earliest children, the very young children, the right to learn for free BSL, which I think is a really good thing.
Yeah.
So BSL uses English words, but not English grammar. It's all the same words, but in a completely different order. For example, in English, you would say, my name is. But in BSL, we say me, name, what. It's a different grammar. But it is a complete full language, just like European and other world languages, with all the same level of detail and complexity. So we're going to show you a video now, which is a fantastic way of representing what it's like to be deaf or have hearing loss. It's just 4 minutes long, and we'll move across to that now.
If you can't see or hear it, please let us know. Otherwise, we'll press play and go for it.
I'll play it.
There.
It was there a second ago, but on YouTube it's fine.
Rajambat is the one place where coral reefs are still thriving.
Dari kita punya moyang kita melakukan kasih untuk menjaga biota laut.
Rajambat is an inspiring conservation success story.
Okay, here we go. Sorry about that.
So when I was really young, probably kindergarten or first grade, I have a much older brother, And we'd go out to recess, and there was this older guy. He might have been in like 5th or 6th grade. That always used to pick on us, and I didn't really know what to do about it. I just told myself completely busted with
Today we went to a high school and I was posing for a picture with all of my girlfriends when all of a sudden one of them reached over.
Can you read my lips?
Can you read my
lips?
Can you read?
Can you read my lips? Can you read her lips?
Oh my God, Clementine loves bread. She stole a loaf off the counter.
Can you read his lips?
I have 2 dogs, one boxer. She's 7.5.
I am deaf, but my word is a hearing one. I rely on the visual, not the auditory. The word lip reading implies reading, like reading a book
whose text is legible and clear.
But the human face isn't a book, and lip reading isn't reading. People mumble, people talk fast enough loudly, people have facial hair like porcupines, lips like sphincters, people cover their mouths, people have accents. But real conversations don't take place in a studio.
Growing up, I used to...
I'm putting together a puzzle without all the pieces. I look in on your mouth. I try to grasp with one sense information intended for another. There have been times when I've questioned why I even tried to read. The way we did is wrong. When I could just use sign language. Some deaf people choose to do just that. It's like a different world. A world filled with rich expression and culture. When people sign, they come alive. But I know I want both worlds. Communication is never a given.
Tuesday, I woke up, had a
She
rash.
just pulled my dress down.
When I was little, my family got a cat.
Like, Wednesday morning, hit him in the face. That was like the last thing that I ever
Guinea
remember.
pig.
Winter, I learned how to
speak. I only cried twice.
But when the reading works, when I focus on one natural space and launch into a conversation, something clicks. Right then, I feel something extraordinary.
Implies human connection.
Okay, so powerful video, food for thought. So Richard, how is that video similar to what you experienced of the world?
Well, really, really powerful video. Oh, still playing YouTube.
Sorry. Okay.
Okay, so really, really powerful video. So for me, the 2 main points in that video that really made me go, wow, yeah, it's not just me, is number 1, where you could see the subtitles, the words, and it started to kind of disappear in pieces. And I thought that's exactly how my experiences with hearing words and then trying to piece them together, fill in the blanks. And from what I've heard, lots of other people saying the same thing as well. And the second part is right at the end, where you have various people talking all at the same time. So you had a voice here, voice here, voice here, voice here, and all these voices are kind of mingling together. So I'm not sure if tomorrow we might have time to talk about this, but hearing aids, my hearing aids, of all hearing aids, will focus in on one main sound. But when there's lots of people talking, all of those voices merge into one. So I'm hearing a combination of all of these voices all at the same time into my hearing aids. So I can't decipher that at all. It's impossible, absolutely impossible, really, really difficult.
Okay. So we've talked about British Sign Language, but lip reading. Now, lip reading is actually half of the language. It's really, really important. So if you are learning BSL and you think, well, I'm actually just lip reading, that's not cheating. That's half of any sign language. And it might surprise you to know that, well, have a think about it for a second. A good lip reader, what percentage of information do you think a good lip reader will take in? Have a think about a number. Well, the truth is it's about 30%. So even a really good lip reader will miss 70% of information, which is lots, isn't it? So it's just something to think about if you're speaking to someone with hearing loss, that even if they say, oh, it's okay, I can lip read, it's probably only about 30% of the information. And tomorrow we'll talk lots more about what you can do to be inclusive and to help out and be kind in that situation. But we have about 5 minutes left, or a few minutes left, and we don't want to leave you today without any BSL. So we're going to go through with you the BSL alphabet quickly.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. So first of all, for everyone who is right-handed, please put your right hand in the air like that now. So if you're right-handed, this hand is going to do most of the work, most of the pointing. But if you're left-handed, of course, everybody else, you need to do the same. So if you're right-handed, you're copying me exactly. And that might not be entirely clear whether you're the right side or not. But however, at the moment, no big problem. So the alphabet. First of all the vowels go here. So your first letter is A. A. B. B. C. When you're doing your C, make sure these three fingers here are closed. C. D. E. Second vowel on the hand. F. G. H. I. J. You just draw your J from the top of your I, your middle finger there. J. Okay, is it a bit complex? Like this, with your dominant hand, and then add your index finger to your non-dominant, becomes your K. L, one finger on the palm. M, three on the palm. N, two. So L, M, N. O, there we go, fourth finger in. P, you want this hand shape on your dominant hand, and then add your index finger to the top of it. P. Now Q can be a little bit confusing because that is my non-dominant hand. Adding my index finger to it becomes Q. R, so you're making this hand shape. Okay, if you're left-handed or right-handed, it doesn't matter, but this finger should be pointing towards you on your palm. R. S. T. U. V. W. X. Y. And then Z. Okay, right, that's the alphabet. So should we share that with them and get them to try it for the next couple of minutes?
Yeah, that'd be a nice way to wrap up, wouldn't it? Okay.
Okay. So
we're going to show you a picture of the alphabet, and we'll just give you a minute or two to have a go at that. There we
Okay,
go.
I'll leave her for a couple of minutes and then just before we wrap up the lesson.
Yeah.
Try and think spell your own name using all those letters.
And if you're lucky and have a short name, do your surname as well. Brothers, sisters, teachers' names, whoever.
Maybe just another minute. You will have more time to practice this tomorrow anyway.
Yeah, we'll have a go again tomorrow, shall we? Okay, so I think we need to wrap up there. But all that's left for us to say is thank you. This is a sign for thank you and happy Sign Language Week. See you tomorrow for part 2, where we'll tell you how to be inclusive with the deaf and hard of hearing.
Thank
you, everyone.
Thank you so much for that. It was brilliant. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. Thanks.
Fantastic. See you all then. Thanks very much, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Bye.